Happy birthday, dear 8HA. Hip, hip, hip.
Okay, Mr. Harris and the board of directors, shareholders. Let's get some serious stuff happening for 5 seconds at least, anyway.
Anywhere?
Yeah. Reg, smile. Smile, Reg.
Yeah, that'll be my
Reg, without the background music, would you like to just say a couple of words?
Yes, well, seeing apparently no one heard me when the original on the radio, which was a bit fortunate. 25 years, but people say, well, so what, radio stations been in existence a lot longer than 25 years, but we believe this is probably the only one in Australia that's had the same shareholders for 25 years. I must say that 7 have died, but their families still hold the shares. Now, a lot of you perhaps wouldn't even know about the commencement of 8HA. It was about 1970, and the only media outlet, or electronic media outlet in Alice Springs was the ABC, with very little local content. Now, Eddie Conlon Airways got the idea that perhaps Alice Springs could stand a commercial station. So he went amongst all his pastoral friends to see if he could get some interest of people putting money in. And unbeknown to Eddie, at the same time, George Brown, who was the director of the Royal Flying Doctor Base, had the same idea. So he started to canvass all his business mates in Alice Springs. Well, the inevitable happened, of course. Eddie was great mates with Ted Marin, and he'd already asked him to be a shareholder. And then one day George walked into Ted's news agency and asked him about being a shareholder, and Ted said, "Oh, good, get on with Eddie Conlon and get a group together." So they joined forces and formed the company Alice Springs Commercial Broadcasters. The licence was granted, and the Northern Territory Administration gave us a lease on a block of land south of the Gap. Local architect Andy McPhee drew up a plan for the station and the manager's house, and another local builder, Russell Thomas, built the place, and we were actually on air 12 weeks after the licence was granted. That was building and everything, and there is no other station in Australia has ever got anywhere near that. I think the nearest to that was 17 weeks, and they went into rented premises. Our first manager was Ren Kelly. I believe he might be overseas and he can't be here. Ren was quite a character because he bobbed in an office I had in Todd Street at the time. Said he was looking for a job as manager of 8HA, and he was going south, and would I let him know when he come back? Because I forgot him about it. He came back and said, how did I go for the manager's job? And I thought, oh hell. So I said, yes, you got it. So one of our directors or shareholders was a fellow called Peter Liney. And Peter come to me and he said, how the hell did Ren Kelly get the job? I said, I don't know. And I rang Ren. I said, how did you get the job? He said, you told me. I went back to Peter and I said, oh, that's right, Peter, we had a meeting while you were away. And he said, I've never been away. So Ren came in and he was very flamboyant, as any of you know him will agree. He flew to Sydney and arranged all the equipment. Then he got drinking with some of the Ansett blokes and decided to hire their largest aeroplane to bring all the equipment to Alice Springs. He didn't worry about telling us, of course. And it was a DC-6 in those days, and when the DC-6 was ready to come to Alice Springs, the equipment wasn't. But the plane come anyhow with just their bundles. It took us 3 years to pay Ansett off. But anyhow, give Kelly his due, he certainly got the station on air quickly. And then the other thing I think that was quite remarkable around Kelly, when the Darwin cyclone was on, which is another big thing that 8HA did, we went on air for 48 hours. And in 48 hours we raised over $150,000 from about 10 or 11,000 people, which I would believe is an all-time record anywhere. And of course the Darwin commercial station was blown away. So Ren decided he would get it back on air again. So he disconnected our standby transmitter, got onto Mount Isa and got an antenna from them, and flew it all up to Darwin and went with it. I don't know how he got a permit. He probably wrote it out himself because he couldn't get a permit. And he arrived at the commercial radio station in Darwin and it was all wrecked. And the management and staff were sitting on the veranda drinking hot beer. And Ren said, come on, we've got to get to work and get this station on there. No, the hell, it was too much trouble. So he sacked them all. For Christ's sake, we didn't even have a share in the place. Ren sacked the staff and in 24 hours he had them back on air again. So that's the sort of people we've had over the years. You know, I could get to the bottom end about Arch Tabacus, but all our data. Anyhow, thank you for coming along and helping us celebrate this, and we hope to see you out at the lunchtime barbecue. Is it a lunchtime barbecue? Yeah. I didn't get an invitation, by the way. I'm the only shareholder who didn't get an invitation. Oh, then Kittle didn't get one either.